As you can see, I've got my hat on. My mother told me since I was a little girl, you don't cook unless you have a hat on. Well, I shouldn't say hat, it was a bonnet. And so I learned that you have to cover your hair. And so I've got something on my hair. So you're gonna see me changing hats. It might be this one a lot, depending upon what I'm wearing, but I've always gotta have something on my hair. Now today, we're going to have meatloaf. I remember having meatloaf as a little girl, and I know there are all sorts of ways to kickstart a meatloaf. You can buy things in the can, but you know, meatloaf typically uses ground beef. Well, we're not using ground beef. We're gonna use ground turkey. Now, ground turkey, if you are used to having turkey, which I've eaten a lot of ground turkey and turkey in general because I love turkey, turkey really doesn't have a lot of flavor. And so what I want to do today is to begin to kick it up a notch is I'm going to add sausage. So here what you have is 1 pound of ground turkey and a pound of sausage. Now I must say, I compromise. This is pork sausage. Now I might want to say that differently for the people in the South. This is pork sausage. And so I figured I could marry the pork sausage with the ground turkey because ground turkey really needs a lot of flavor. So I've got a pound of sausage and I got a pound of ground turkey. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to slowly incorporate items into this meat mixture. The first thing that I'm going to add is I sauteed in chicken broth, the pepper trio, which is red peppers, green peppers, and orange peppers. And then I also sauteed a small onion. And so I'm just gonna pour this in. And I'm gonna use my trusty spatula just to get all the little morsels out because we're gonna need this because as I've stated, when it comes to ground turkey, you need everything that you can. Then I am going to add, as I just kind of mix this around a little bit, just mix it around a little bit. Now I'm going to add my spices. Now what you see me doing before I add the spices, and I've got lots of little things over here because I wanted to make sure that you can see that you can use whatever you have in your kitchen. I'm the type of person, I love kitchen gadgets and I've owned a lot of kitchen gadgets and some of them I don't have anymore. But I'm now learning whatever I have, I'm gonna make that work. So you saw me mixing in the peppers, onions with the meat mixture. So now I'm gonna pick up a bigger spoon. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna sprinkle these herbs. I've got oregano, I've got parsley, I've got basil, a half a teaspoon of each one. I think I've got some Italian seasoning. I just added that too, even though most of this is a part of the Italian season trio. So we're gonna mix this together. Now, you know, when I was a little girl, you're gonna see me do this, Mama would use her hands to mix up meatloaf. And we're gonna have to do that too. And now I've written this, my recipe down because I don't wanna mislead you. So I have added, because I've added a whole lot of stuff here. I've added basil, parsley, oregano, garlic, onions, black pepper, okay? So it's a lot going on here. Now I'm going to add a cup of tomato sauce. Now I will tell you this particular tomato sauce has basil and oregano in it. So I'm really trying to add the flavor, or I sort of call it layering the flavor on. And the reason being is I'm dealing with turkey. And I've got to make sure my turkey has some flavor. Okay. Now I've also left a little bit of the marinara sauce or the tomato sauce over here to the side. We're going to use that later. Okay. We're going to use it later. Now I'm going to go ahead and add, I think this is a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, because we've got to get this flavor. I wish you guys could really smell this. Believe it or not, I really do wish you could smell it. It's smelling pretty good. Now, let me tell you what I did here. This is a 1/4 cup of Italian breadcrumbs. And I had already put, I think it was about 1/4 cup of milk in here. And I wanted it to start to sort of blend itself in. Well, you know, I'm my own sous chef. So it's kind of absorbed itself. So what I did was I brought out just a little more milk before we got started so that it would begin to break this up, okay? So that's the reason I have that little extra milk there, because I've got to break up my breadcrumbs. But I did this originally because I wanted to make sure that the breadcrumbs were moist. So I'm having to re-moisten them. Now, if this was not good food, that's bad food, bad good food, what I would do is, you could have added a little butter, but this is gonna be healthy. So I'm not adding any butter. So we're getting that here, because that would be adding on additional oil. But because I chose to use the ground turkey with the sausage, I'm thinking this pork sausage or pork sausage, I think that it should give me enough oil. I'm thinking it will. We'll see, because you just never know. Now what we've got to do is we've got to add in, most people would do an egg, and there's nothing wrong with doing eggs. But what I've done is I've poured up 3 egg whites. So basically, you can either buy the egg whites or you can just do as I normally do, crack an egg, and I just separate the yolk from the egg. Now I'll tell you, years ago, my mother used to have this little yellow yolk separator, and I've probably had it for a long time, but you know, then I just started taking the egg, cracking it, and just going like this, you know, just shifting that yolk back and forth, and I was separating the yolk from the egg white. So now that's just the way I do it. It's sort of like a little fun to me. And, you know, someone said to me, "You really do enjoy cooking, don't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do. I'm really in my element." Now, I've got one more thing to do, but I'm not quite sure yet of how I'm gonna do it. So let me see if I can get Mama on the phone. Now I've got my phone wrapped up because you know I'm cooking. And see if I can get Mama on the phone, because I do have a question. And she is the only person, you know, I may not even get her on the phone. She's the person that can answer this question for me.
Mama.
Hey Mom, how you doing?
I'm good, okay?
Good. I'm gonna put you on speakerphone, even though I'm mic'd up so everybody can hear you. Mom, I tell you, I'm here working on some, what am I working on, Mom? I'm making turkey meatloaf. So I've got all this together, and then it hit me, you didn't put any salt. But now I'm trying to determine how much salt. Now I'm gonna also add a cup of Italian blend cheese. And then I'm gonna add 1/4 of a cup of feta cheese. Now I know you don't, you know what I mean when I say feta cheese?
Yeah,
So, you know, I'm gonna add feta, and then I'm gonna mix all that together, but I'm not sure how much salt I need. So is it a half a teaspoon or is it a teaspoon? I'm just not sure. And you know, if it's too salty, you can't mess, well, you know, I'll have to reinvent it. But I'd rather go under, I'm almost thinking go a half a teaspoon, but I'm just not sure. What do you think?
Well, I'd go a half a teaspoon for it. Because like you said, if you go a teaspoon and it's too salty, you can't take it out. You can always reinvent it, like you said. Let's go with a half a teaspoon.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do a half a teaspoon, and then I'm gonna put my my cheese blend in, and then I'm gonna. I've been mixing it up with a spoon, but you know I got to do one quick mix with my hand, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it in my little miniature loaf pans. Then I'm gonna pop it in the oven, and then I'm gonna put a little marinara sauce, and then I'm gonna bring it back out. And then I'll put cheese on top. So it's got a lot of cheese in it. So I'm thinking that will add to the saltiness also. And so I think you're right. We just need to go a half a teaspoon.
Okay then, talk to you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Keep cooking.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay. You see what I told you? She's a hoot. You said, see, now the other people, I guess she said, you not Bobby Flay and all the other people and Guy Fieri. So don't you be using your hand. You see what I'm saying? I told you Mama's a hoot. Now she done got in here and she done started directing. You see, if I hadn't said anything, out of just, I don't know, I think I might need a little bit more than a half a teaspoon. I tell you, I think I'm gonna need a little bit more than a half a teaspoon. It's just hard to tell. I think I'm gonna need a little more than a half a teaspoon. So what I'm gonna do is, now, don't you try this at home. Like I tell a friend of mine, I can taste food in my head. And it's so, oh, but this is smelling good though. I'm gonna do this. The camera's gonna catch it. I did a half a teaspoon and then a half a teaspoon. You know how it is when you're a cook. You just kind of have to feel your way through it. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Because I just didn't feel that half a teaspoon, it just didn't feel right to me. I just don't know how to explain it. It's a feeling that I get. As C.C. Bloom said, that's Bette Midler from when she was in Beaches, I feel things. So I kind of feel it a little bit. Now we're just gonna move this Italian blend around here a little bit. Gonna get this stirred up. By the time I stir it like this, but I guess I may not even need to, I don't even think I'm gonna need any gloves. I heard Mama, but the way this is feeling to me as I'm stirring it, I don't think, oh, it smells so good too. Oh, this smells good. I wish you guys could smell it through the lens of the camera, because this is smelling good. I can't wait to taste this. Oh, it's smelling good. Those peppers and the onions and those spices. This should be really good. Really, really good. You know, I have been eating ground turkey for a long time. And there are times that I have cooked things for my family and sent it home to them. And when I first started using it, I didn't tell them it was ground turkey. Because if I told them it was ground turkey, you know what they were gonna tell me? I don't eat that. So I didn't tell them. And then I always ask them after I've done something, I'm like, what do you think that was? And they'll be like, what do you mean what I think it was? I'm like, what do you think that was? And then they're like, wasn't it ground beef? I'm like, nah, because you know, I don't eat ground beef. I actually haven't had ground beef since before 9/11. I was on another diet, but really I had low blood sugar. And so I started eating 5 little meals a day. And I was not eating any processed food. And so, of course, I stopped eating ground beef. And so I haven't had a hamburger since before 9/11. And so I was really eating a lot of ground turkey. And turkey itself, turkey breast that wasn't ground. And so I had to figure out how to make it taste good. And so they were my guinea pigs. They didn't realize it, but they were my guinea pigs. And so I learned how to make ground turkey taste really good. Now, this smells good. I think it's mixed pretty good too. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my loaf pans, and I am going to spoon up the meatloaf mixture. This is ground turkey, and it is got some sausage. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it with this spatula because this is nice and soft, but we're gonna see. Am I gonna be able to do it with this spatula? Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start at the center. Ooh, I may have more left over. And I'm starting at the center because that way I can work my way out as I put my meat mixture in here. So now what you've seen me do is we have placed the sausage, ground turkey, meatloaf in my pans. What I'm going to do now is, isn't it good that I did not use this teaspoon? Because I don't have my spoon over here. So what I'm going to do is I saved back some marinara sauce and I added, I know you guys will say it's overkill, but I added a little more oregano and basil. Then I added that Southern favorite, a pinch of artificial sweetener, not sugar, because I don't eat sugar. I haven't had sugar since before 9/11, so it has nothing to do with my sleeve surgery, but I haven't had sugar since 9/11. So I added my artificial sweetener, but I did put 1 pack of it. And 1 pack is supposed to be the equivalent of 2 teaspoons. And oh, I felt like a little cinnamon. So I did a dash of cinnamon, literally a dash. You know how you take the container and do, That's what I did. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to spread some of this over each one of my little loaves, okay? And we're going to cook this for 50 minutes in an oven that's already preheating to 400. And then we're gonna pull it out. And then I'm gonna add a little more cheese. So I'm gonna put this in the oven. Ooh, it's heavy. This is about almost 2 pounds of meat. I'm gonna put this in the oven, for 50 minutes, and then we'll pull it out, and then we'll put a little cheese on it. To my little workstation that I have set up here. Set it on the traverse. And I'm going to add just a little bit of this leftover marinara sauce just to moisten it a little bit. Just to moisten it a little bit. You know, sometimes you need to be moistened. Now I could have grabbed the brush, I just didn't. I do have the brushes that I could have grabbed, but I did not. Don't hold it against me, I could have. I just thought I would just grab a teaspoon and just move along with this, because sometimes you have to kick it up. You just can't. Okay, and I'm really just putting this little extra here because I got it. Also because there really is no reason to waste it. You know, Mama said don't mix it with my hands. So, you know, I didn't mix this meat out because, you know, Mama was directing me from a distance. So I'm going to take the shredded Italian cheese and I'm just going to put it here. Now, you add the amount of cheese that you want to add, okay? I'm adding it to feel because I kind of want to see it there. And so I'm just adding cheese. And this is not bad because it does have mozzarella. So therefore, this has some part skim milk cheese that's been partially made with skim milk. And we can see how it has cooked. Let me tell you, I was seeing the steam come out of my oven and I was like, I have not seen that happen before. But it was steaming. So we're gonna put that right there. Put that there. I'm trying to push these little pieces here. Okay, oops. You know it's hot, oops. So what we're gonna do is now, I'm gonna go back. We're gonna pop this in the oven. I think, looking at this, I think it's almost done. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm going to pop it in. And ooh, the oven is warm, ooh. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on broil. Oh, it looks so good. It looks so good. And you know, of course, you could have had more cheese on top, but I didn't want any more cheese because again, we are trying to make this healthy. And you may have forgotten, but I haven't forgotten, there's cheese on the inside. There are 2 different kinds. It's the Italian blend and we got feta cheese. Now this is hot, but I do want to taste it because I want you to see how it tastes because I don't know how it tastes. So we've got to figure this out. So what I'm gonna do is, it's gonna be the simplest way to do this. I think I'm going to, oh, this is gonna be real nice. I'm gonna pull out a little meatloaf. Oops, I made it just in time. So, I'm gonna put this right here for right now. I'm using this. I'm gonna put that there too. So here is my little meatloaf. And it really is a little loaf. Oh, it's hot. You see this string cheese. See how that cheese is melting? Oh man, I'm almost afraid to try it. Oh, look at that, I did right. See, it's still juicy. Can you see that juice? I hope you guys can see that juice. See that juice there? So I made a good decision not to let it cook the additional minutes. And you have to make those decisions based upon your oven. You see that liquid there? It's still liquid because we did not want it to dry out. Well, I'm telling you all that because I'm trying to let this cool down just a little bit. So I can hear somebody say, why are you whispering? Well, you know you start whispering when you're going to have something good. Oh God, it still tastes so good. I made the right decision to put a little sprig more salt, I believe. It's perfect. It is absolutely perfect. This is my version of meatloaf, where we have added ground turkey and we have added sausage. This is absolutely wonderful. This has been I don't even know how to say it. This has been a labor of love bringing this show to you. I want you to be a part of it. If you have a recipe that you would like for me to attempt to transform, because I can't say I can transform all of them and make them healthier, please reach out to me at transformwithtaz@gmail.com. transformwithtaz@gmail.com. Send me your recipe. Make sure that you say recipe in the subject line. Also include your first and last name, your city and your state, and the recipe, of course. And you never know, your recipe may be selected to be a part of this show. It has been my honor to bring you Transform with Taz. Let's just transform our lives together, our body and our soul. And for those who don't know, my sign off is take care of you. So in order to take care of somebody else, you got to take care of you first. See you later. Bye now.